Hello, hello, hello. This is Danto, aka Autohamai, and I'm going to be explaining some character lore because I got asked about it a while ago, and I said I'd do it very soon, like in a couple days. And sometimes that can become like a month, and I don't want that to happen right now because then that would be so disappointing, and it'll feel like I just disappointed that person, and I really don't want to do that. So we're going to start off with some Tilly lore, and then we're going to move on to some Marita's lore later on, because I'm going to do this in like different recordings, but I'm going to like put them in the same video. And then I'm going to do like the story lore, because I had to write it down. Alright, so, Tilly. Tilly's full name is Till Maui Arcana. Well, that's their current full name. Their nicknames from Martis are Tilly. I call Till Tilly, and so will most of the people in the story. Ty, Sweet Cheeks, Sweetie, Sweet, Cheeky, Squirrel, Babu, Girly Pop. She is AFAB. Her pronouns are she, her. And her date of birth is the 11th of the 4th, or the 11th of July. Tilly's hobbies are like acting, art, reading, baking, dress up. She likes to dress up like costumes, makeup, history, baking, gardening. Personality-wise, Tilly's like a quiet person, but she's not shy per se. She could be described as smart, kind, and studious. She likes to learn new things and has a whole variety of knowledge on different topics that you wouldn't think should know. Examples being first aid, how to build a bomb, and etc. However, despite being a caring person, Till is quite, how do I say this, selfish, and thinks mostly of her own safety, and that alone, when it comes to staying alive and abandoning, like, my door, which is like bang, bang, bang. Yeah. When it comes to it, to like staying alive and like abandoning her friends, when it comes to it, she would rather abandon and stay alive. Wait, did I just say that wrong? Whoops, sorry. When it comes to like staying alive and helping her friends, she would rather stay alive and like abandon them than sacrifice her own health for them. And, yeah. The lore-wise, so Tilly, or Till, was a science experience known by the code 4041. Made through science, created through science, birthed through science, lived through science. She has never been and has never lived a regular human life, so she doesn't know how a human would act. She was raised by a bunch of scientists who believed that they could make something great with her. She hated them. She hated the scientists, but she loved their work. She loved seeing how science was made. She liked seeing how things could be created through such horrible means, but hated the way that they were created and who they were created by. Eventually, Tilly finds a way to escape and starts a new life using a portal from the lab, assuming a new identity under the name Sally. Sally runs into a certain company, after years of living the same life in a seemingly normal world, where where after she meets the company, she gets to know them, she gets offered a job, and on her first day as a chef in certain company, she is gifted a bouquet of flowers as a welcoming gift. The flowers in the bouquet are really, really important to mention because they are certain flowers that have been picked out by me because they have meaning, because I am a nerd. Flowers in the bouquet are snapdragons, black dahlias, catchflies, white cherry blossoms, irises, and lotuses. They do have meanings, by the way. If you want to search them up, it would be recommended because they have certain meanings to them. The last two are explained because of what Tilly or Sally does. Tilly or Sally, let's just say Sally for now, rose up the ranks from small-time chef to a scientist in the building, creating tools for their defense and task force. I just got to turn the page. Sally was, unfortunately, deceived by the certain company, and she wasn't really happy about that, because after she got promoted, she got treated horribly by the higher-ups, and she didn't like it, she didn't love it, she hated them, she grew to hate the people that she once found so much love for. She still adored the people down below, the people still on the lower levels, because they were still so kind, but that wasn't enough to keep her from leaving. So how does she leave? Well, Sally leaves the faking a vacation for a week, and she never comes back, she disappears. But they're not gonna let her leave. She's got all their secrets. She knows everything about certain company. She can warn other people about certain company, which is bad for the company. So they're going to start chasing her down, and they're gonna keep doing that with a small task force or a small amount of defense force people until they find her. Thing about Tilly or Sally is that she is a shapeshifter. She was made this way to be a shapeshifter, to be a mimic, to be someone that can be anyone at any time. And even though she can assume any identity she wants, there are problems with that. Identity problems. And it gets real deep because she has this kind of imposter mind. She's got this imposter problem where she believes every time she assumes a new identity that she's made up, that she's not real, that she doesn't deserve this. She's got a real fucked up mind behind that happy persona that she throws on when she meets someone. When she assumes her new identity, she has portaled to a Minecraft world, and that is where she lives now. She goes from the real world, our world, to a Minecraft world where she starts a new life for a couple years. And she lives in that world for a couple years until she runs into her first encounter with the entity. Minecraft ARG alert! I got that idea because I got into ARGs. Yes! And the entity is a spider-like entity, and they hate each other at first because Tilly finds his presence so disgusting, so worthless in the beginning. She hates him, and so she treats him like garbage in the beginning, as if he's worth nothing, as if he is nothing more than a smidge on her paper in her life that is ruining everything. Whereas for Maritus is much different. When he first sees her, he sees an angel who has come from the heavens, and that is a new feeling for him, because he's never felt such a feeling of bliss in his heart, the feeling of butterflies in his spider's stomach, ever before. So he treats her like she doesn't exist, like he ignores her completely, and they both it's like a one-sided fight between Maritus and Tilly. Tilly being the one yelling, and Maritus being the one running away, leaving, and like making funny tracks, because that's his job. That's his job. He's supposed to make Tilly leave the place, essentially. But Tilly isn't having any of it. So she so they keep going and they keep going till the relationship becomes from enemies, almost like one-sided enemies, to sort of friends, to best friends, closest friends, to crushes, to secret crushes. Marta's not knowing that it's a crush and thinking it's more of like, ooh, I aspire to be someone like you because you're so resilient, you're so cool. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just idling you. But what he doesn't realize is he's so deeply in love with her. And on the other side, Tilly knows that she's in love with him, knows that she deeply cares for him, but she doesn't care enough about him to tell him about her past, to tell him about what's going on, about what could happen, because they're together as friends. They're not like officially together in the story. And because of that, she eventually fakes her death, because the certain company catches up and they find her and they realize it's her, because even though she can shapeshift, she can't change. There's one thing she can't change, and that is her player code. She cannot change that. No matter what world she's from, everyone's got a code that tells them who that certain individual is. That's how they find out people, where they live, where they are. Tilly's like a glitch. She glitches. She phases because she's not meant to be there. She is an anomaly. And because they catch up to her, she fakes her death in front of Maritus, which is a horrible thing to do to your friends, to pretend you're dead and not tell them what's going on. So Maritus falls into this deep sense of guilt that he couldn't save her, that he couldn't help her, that he couldn't do anything about it. And so he becomes this enraged entity that is willing to kill anyone and anything because he feels that much grief, and he's still grieving, even though she isn't really dead. But he doesn't really know that, because she never told him. And so from now the story goes on as we look from Maritus's perspective. I'm going to do the lore in a different clip, but I have to keep writing some more lore about him, because I've got so much lore for Tilly and not so much lore for Maritus. It's more of the research and find more ideas for him than it is about knowing already what's going to happen. It's more of like motifs, ideas, things like that I'm struggling with at the moment with Maritus. But I hope you enjoyed this kind of small part 1 lore explained video about my OCs and their lore and what's going on in their world. Thank you so much for listening this far, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a good night, afternoon, evening, and I hope you have a good one. This was Danto, aka Arohamai. Peace out.